So growth was slow. We were strictly referral based.
Yeah.
I would say we were functioning probably at about like 30-40% capacity. Like we were probably seeing maybe one new patient a week between the both of us. Between both doctors, like year one, nothing for 6 months, and that's brutal. By the end of year one, we had brought in a total each of like 25,000. Year two was better. We doubled that, but again, each doctor brought home 55,000, which you're like, that's not very much a doctor's salary. Before we met you guys, we did the first quarter without you guys, right? So I think collectively, each doctor brought home about, in 3 months' time, one quarter, I think it was like somewhere between 15 to 20K, right? After we met you guys, each doctor now has brought home double that. So I think within 3 months, it was like 40K each. Like, and that's how fast.
Let's go. That's
how fast it turned around. So, and then obviously after Chiro Jump, it was like we were breaking that in one day. You know, we would get 6 new patients in one day. And so
the thing that pumps me up the most is that you went from 5K take home to 10K take home each.
Way more
having
fun.
the momentum in practice.
Yeah, way more fun.
So that's so awesome.
And that obviously finding you guys in Chiro Jump, it just really elucidated that, it's things that I need to change. And it wasn't drastic changes either. It was just helping, and like following your model was literally as easy as showing up to a restaurant and choosing something off the menu that you normally don't eat all the time, but you just try and you eat it. It was literally as easy as that. I'm not a pro. I stutter. You know, I'm always questioning some things I do in chiropractic. You know, I'm like, I wasn't the best chiropractic student either. You know, I was C+, B- most of the time. And now literally I can like confidently say, looking at some of my friends who are still working at the joint, who are A students in school or killing it in chiropractic school, or they're struggling to make ends meet in their own practice. And I'm like, wow, like we're cruising. It's literally because I'm like, well, I found Chiro Jump and it's doing great.
Yeah.
So my name is Dr. Jonathan Gallo. I have a business called Next Level Chiropractic. It's with my colleague, business partner, Dr. Sean Toner. We've been in business now for 2.5 years. We're located in Utah in the Lehi area, and our practice focuses on sports medicine. So we get a good variety of patients who are either professional athletes, student athletes, weekend warriors, aspiring athletes. But then we also get a good range. We're right here in the middle of Utah, so we get a lot of pregnant patients too. So we have a lot of young moms, and it's a pretty good spectrum. But we like the area a lot.
Love it. Could you give like a walkthrough? Like, what was y'all's situation in practice like before we met, as far as your growth and everything there?
Yeah, so growth was slow. We were strictly referral based. We had both moved recently to the area not long before, had worked at a couple different locations, and from that we had garnered a little bit of a clientele. So when we finally opened Next Level Chiropractic, we were able to get started with some patients, and from there we were slowly growing. So we saw growth in the first year. That doubled in the second year, but we still just felt like it was really slow, and we wanted to definitely do more. Our schedule definitely could use more. I mean, it was able to fill in quite a bit more. So I would say we were functioning probably at about like 30-40% capacity, where we could, and we realized, oh man, okay, we gotta do a little bit more than just the referrals we're getting from here. So that's why we reached out to Chiro Jump.
Yeah. How did things feel in practice beforehand? Like, as far as like just like personal emotions of like pushing for 2.5 years and still not seeing that growth after the initial few patients that started with you guys.
Yeah. Everything just felt slow. Like, we loved our clientele. Okay. We loved the people we got. Yeah. We had a lot of great patients, but it was still just slow, because when you don't have your schedule filled in, you go to work, you have some days that are busy and some days that are not. And that inconsistency can be kind of just like, okay, like, come on, what's going on? Or you have gaps in days. It's not great for work. You want to keep momentum, you want to keep the energy high. Yeah. So that's definitely something before Chiro Jump, we just noticed, like, up till 2026, we're like, it's just like, we need some more energy in the office.
Yeah, I love that. Could you give me some of like the numbers, maybe around like new patients, revenue, like where were you guys at before we met and even started talking?
Yeah, so I mean, really, I should just look at the chart, but off the top of my head, like, we were probably seeing maybe one new patient a week between the both of us.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes it'd be 3 to 4. sometimes we see 6 and we're like, okay, this is a good week. You know, we each got 3 new patients, and that was kind of our goals. Like, I want to see 3 new patients.
Yeah.
You see 3 new patients. And then obviously after Chiro Jump, it was like we were breaking that in one day. You know, we would get 6 new patients in one day. And so it was just like
wild.
Whoa,
okay.
Like this is crazy. Like, it was crazy to see that our regular patients were trying to book, but could not book for at least 2 weeks because they saw our schedule was filled. And honestly, creating this sense of like scarcity, I swear, made our regular patients be more desperate. And then they started referring more, like, oh man, you got to get in here.
That's good. Walk me through like maybe some of the hesitations you had when we first met. What kind of got you to say yes in the first place? Would love to know like where we were starting. Also, can you hit on the revenue that we had before, so we get like a good before and after snapshot?
I'll start with just revenue because it's easy. So between both doctors, like year 1, nothing for 6 months. And that's brutal. By the end of year 1, we had brought in a total each of like 25,000. And we're like, okay, you know, it's first year. Year 2 was better. We doubled that. But again, each doctor brought home 55,000, which you're like, that's not very much a doctor's salary. And then so coming into year 2026, like we really have to, like we got to hit the ground running. Like there's no way we can just, and I wasn't even going to be satisfied if we had just doubled again. I was like, I really want to see, you know, more than a double, triple, quadruple if we could. And it just became evident that there was no more waiting around. Like we had to be more aggressive in marketing. We had to be more aggressive actually getting people in the door.
Yeah, totally.
And it wasn't just the way we marketed. It wasn't just our outreach or new patients. It's also the way we did business. We changed that. We changed our model. And this is no discredit to Sean at all. Sean had been in business for 25 plus years. This is how he's always run his business.
Yeah, totally.
And it's always worked well because we accept insurance. But then it just became evident that doing these shorter treatment plans and not really, you know, pushing or encouraging patients to refer or to do maintenance plans with us, it just became evident that there's no way this model is going to survive here in Utah or just survive in today's day and age. Like it just became clear that we had to make some changes. And so with the modeling that Chiro Jump presented and educated us on, in conjunction with also the new patients coming through their marketing system, was crucial. Like it really just changed everything. Like the momentum completely changed from the moment we started with Chiro Jump. Within, I think really we knew it was serious the moment, you know, because you have the what was it, the 10 patient guarantee.
Yeah.
But we knew it was more serious, not because you guys were so much just like, oh, hey, like, well, we'll get you new patients. Because you see those ads all the time and people are like, we'll get you new patients. And honestly, you get a whole variety of, when that happens, you can get some of the worst quality patients. And that's something we talk about all the time. We want the best quality we possibly can. We're not trying to run the joint chiropractic anymore. You know, we want quality patients who care about their care. And it wasn't just how, you know, it wasn't just a change in our clientele. It was a change in us too. Like we had to change how we approached it a little bit, or a lot different. And, you know, me being a newer doc, I was all for it. And Sean honestly accepted it too, because he just saw like numbers wise, like, this is working. Like this is just way better.
Let's go.
We care about the revenue in the end. So it's like, that's if we're going to keep our doors open, the revenue is important. And we saw that this was actually generating revenue. So it worked.
Yeah. Can you walk me through some of the numbers? Like on the other side of the ads launching, changing up the model, maybe with new patient volume and then revenue. Would love to know like a little bit more like into the inside scoop on how things were.
Yeah. So let's look from this year. Numbers wise, before we met you guys, we did the first quarter without you guys, right? So I think collectively each doctor brought home about, in 3 months time, one quarter, I think it was like somewhere between 15 to 20K, right? After we met you guys, each doctor now has brought home double that. So I think within 3 months, it was like 40K each. Like, and that's how fast.
Let's go. That's
how fast it turned around. So like, for example, so we did, it was, so it's like last month we did 10K. That was the first time each doctor brought home 10K, and which still is like 10K. We want to go beyond that. But the fact that we finally hit it, and it was just clearly what we did with Chiro Jump.
Let's go.
Okay, so there you go. Like that's how, and like with potential to grow exponentially after that as well.
Totally.
Like one of the things that we noticed is like, okay, expansion on treatment plans, expansion on pricing as well. So we knew like, okay, like we're good at what we do, but we're underselling ourselves because we're just going at these kind of cheap market rates. And now we realize well, actually under market rates, right? Like we talked about that. You guys really, that was one of the first things you delineated was like, well, you guys are really charging pretty low for what you're doing. And for the time you're allocating to each patient, you need to be charging me more than that. And that was like almost like a no duh. We saw that like, why are we charging 60 a visit when we're doing 75 to 80? And why are we charging only 55 for an initial when it should be double that?
Yeah.
And I think also at first we were concerned that because we take insurance, which a lot of chiros don't, we were worried about how this would affect that system, and it didn't at all. It was a perfect, it was a perfect addition, or just, set up adjacent to how we already run with insurance. So aside from just getting good revenue as it is from insurance, we were now able to match that revenue with just cash, which before cash was minimum compared to the insurance. So when we got cash patients, it was always kind of abysmal because we just felt like, oh, they weren't going to be as dedicated. They weren't going to be as good patients, which now it's almost like flipped around where it's like, if a patient's on insurance and their insurance is covering, I still commit them to your treatment program. I make it very clear. I'm like, hey, if you're not going to be committed, then you're not going to be, then you're not fit for us. And that's really strict, like straight from Chiro Jump's script, So it's like, it made me as a doctor a lot more confident. It really strengthened my patients' relationships. Like everything that I learned with you and Joe, it was just like, I don't need to worry about selling this because it sells itself, but I do need to be better at persuading patients and educate them, help them understand. And so already having a small sales background and Sean having no sales background, it still worked perfectly for both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. What are maybe some of the other things you would share about like other benefits you saw, or other things that we were able to work on together through the practice? I know we did a little bit more than just, send new patients in and just tweak some of the pricing. Is there anything else you'd want to share with the doc that's like on the fence? Like, I don't know, do I take that next step? What is it going to look like?
So I would say, and this might sound just pandering and idealistic, the coaching was for me the most important part. Yes, like we got new patients, that was awesome. But again, we could have gone there's plenty of patients that came and went that were great patients, but we lost opportunity because I was learning, we were learning how to better educate them. And especially I'll speak for myself being the newer doctor, I've only been practicing for 5 years. It was the first time that I really had to practice, not just going through, a regular soap note treatment with patients, but really actually be like, hey, I need to do more. I need to actually really convey this information clearly. I need to convey that I am the chiropractor and that I can help them. And so I think just all the coaching we did weekly with you guys, even in our short sessions, every time I left a session, I was pumped. I was optimistic. I was like, okay,
let's go.
Like, let's go. Like, I really felt a change in like, okay, I know I can do this. Like, I have these coaches that I can constantly, bounce off of and work with, and I can go through patient situations and scenarios. We did some practice role playing as well. So it's like, that to me was actually more valuable than just getting new patients. It was actually the coaching. It was the education. It was like,
I love that.
Knowing that I can go talk to someone about a situation and just get real-time feedback. It was huge.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I think the thing that pumps me up the most is that you went from 5K take home to 10K take home each. Like that part is really, really awesome. And I think a lot of people don't realize going from, because your expenses for the most part are fixed. And so it's like, once you get to the point where your expenses are covered, it's a lot easier to go to that 10K because that's just adding $10,000 business revenue leads to each of you collecting another 5,000, right? Like it's not like it takes 6 years. Like you could do this thing in like 3 months. The average was an extra 10, right? Like you could do this very quickly. And so it's like, it's really cool to see just like how quickly you can shift that because you guys were already covering your costs. You were already taking something home. And it wasn't like it was a ton extra work. It probably felt more fun too on the back end of seeing more patients and having the momentum in practice.
Way more fun.
So that's so awesome. I love that. Is there anything else you'd want to share with somebody coming in and like curious on, hey, do I take this next step?
Yeah, I think it's really just being willing to make the change. Again, like I'll tell you, Dr. Toner is a perfect case study of this. He had been practicing for 25 plus years, extremely successful. He technically doesn't even have to be here work-wise. He's done, but he loves what he does and he loves making a successful business. So it was very frustrating for him coming here to Utah from St. Louis. He's also practicing Flagstaff in California. It was very frustrating for him to be like, I don't know what's going on. Like, this is like, I've always done this my whole career and it's not working. So what do I do? And so he actually ended up finding you guys first. And he's like, you know what, let's try it. Like, so he was humble enough. he was humble enough to try it.
That's real.
And that's something that I would encourage every doctor to do. Doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter what you know, just try it. Because in the end, you do want to be successful. In the end, you do want to make revenue, because if you really care about your business, you have to keep the doors open. And you're here to make money. Yes, you are here to help patients, but you're also here to make money if you want to continue to do that. And so Sean, that's what he cares about. And so, we made this change, and he admitted it was hard. He's like, this is not what I do, but he did. Honestly, he allowed me to kind of take the lead on this, because I was excited. I was animated about it. And he just followed the lead. He's like, okay, like if we're doing this, and he saw really quickly I was pulling in referrals really fast, because I was committing everyone as much as I could to a minimum 20 treatment visit program. And he was like, okay, I got to do the same thing, because Johnny's getting all these new patients, because he's not just getting the Chiro Jump ads, he's getting referrals, because his patients he's following the Chiro Jump model to the T, which meant I was getting better relationships with my patients. I was able to get more referrals out of them because they trusted me. They saw me longer, more consistently.
Yeah.
And so
got the results.
And so that was, again, it sold itself. Like Sean didn't have to even ask, does this work? He's like, it's obviously working. Like it's right here in the office. I can see it.
I love
the
that.
Energy's high.
Let's go.
To this day, like I haven't even turned the ads back on yet. I need to. I mean, I guess I'll just do it when we sign up with you guys again. We've just been so busy with all the referrals. So it's like, it just showed as I follow that Chiro Jump model, that's what I would tell every doctor. It's like, yes, follow what they tell you to do. Try it. If you don't feel like this is not you, don't worry. You don't need to change who you are. It's just going to help you project better of who you are, how you treat. You're going to better communicate with your patients. They're going to love you still for you. You're not going to be this new kind of, facade of a salesman. That's not it at all. That's not what happens. It just helps better convey who you are, how you treat, and patients are going to want to come back.
100%. I love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing what your story, and like, I just want to say, like, your attention to detail, your energy coming into every single call makes this so enjoyable and so easy to be like, hey, cool, like these are the steps, and you just would run with it and like implement those things. And so it makes it really easy when you have somebody that's like locked into implementing everything we do as soon as possible. So thank you for being so awesome there. Seriously.
No, 100%. Seriously, like, thank you for what you guys did. Like, it really did change our lives in the sense of like it opened our vision to, we're in a good area. We have a really great setup. It just helped us convey our practice. Like, it helped us convey like what we want to do and help people better. And I tell people all the time, like my friends know, like my family knows, like, wow, like whatever you guys do with like those brothers, like it definitely, I could tell, paid off, because I see you're busier than ever. Your attitude is different. Not that I was pessimistic before, but when people ask me like, how's work? I just be like, it's work. All the pros and cons of starting a business, But lately I've been saying, how's work? I'm like, I tell them straight, I'm like, it's been super fun, actually. It's been really fun, because we've been growing exponentially. It's allowing me to also have leverage to work on other things, like that product I was telling you and Joe about, and doing that product development. That's been most of my energy now. But I can only have gotten to that point because we got extra revenue and got something moving here in the office. So now it's like, now we're able to allocate funds towards that, which I couldn't do that before. And I knew, I was like, how am I going to do this? Like, this is going to take time and money, but we need money from our practice. And it's just kind of slow growing, And be like, that's normal. That's natural. I'm like, I don't want to be normal. I don't want to go that way. We got to get things moving. And I knew we could too. It's like the same thing when people are like, yeah, when you're in college, you're poor. They kind of put a label on you. And I already knew, because I did sales in college. I technically was not rich, but I was richer than the average college student because I did summer sales. So I was like, I just knew right away. I'm like, I don't like that mentality. Like, I don't like the idea. Like, oh, this is normal. Just stay where you are. Be complacent, Because that's the risk that you run when you're like, oh, my business, I guess just the people in my area probably just aren't as, animated about this. Or, the economy's bad right now. People tell me that all the time when I tell them, like, yeah, it's slow. Like, oh, the economy's bad. I'm like, the economy is always bad or good or bad or good. It doesn't matter, And so I think that's the risk you run when you have all those things being told to you. And I just knew it wasn't the case. So, and that obviously finding you guys in Chiro Jump, it just really elucidated that, it's things that I need to change. And it wasn't drastic changes either. It was just helping, and like following your model was literally as easy as showing up to a restaurant and choosing something off the menu that you normally don't eat all the time, but you just try and you eat it. It was literally as easy as that. Because you had all the groundwork out there in front of me. You gave great references. You introduced me to some great names and titles like Alex Hormozy. And I watched one 20-minute video on, double speed time on YouTube. So it took me less than, 10 minutes to get through it. And again, that was mind blowing. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Like, it just helped me understand how I want to be as a chiropractor, how I want to talk to patients. And my attitude is completely different in office.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I'm excited for anyone who comes on and they want to hear honest testimonial. I'm not a pro. I stutter. I'm always questioning some things I do in chiropractic. I'm like, I wasn't the best chiropractic student either. I was C+, B- most of the time. And now literally I can like confidently say, looking at some of my friends who are still working at the joint, who are A students in school or killing it in chiropractic school, or they're struggling to make ends meet in their own practice. And I'm like, wow, like we're cruising. It's lit because I'm like, well, I found Chiro Jump and it's doing great.
Yeah.
So
let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, that's my advice.
Thank you so much.
Just do it and you'll see. And it's not even long. Just give it a couple of weeks and you'll see there'll be a huge difference.